Hello, and welcome to another episode of the BPM process. I am Paul Rasmussen. I am here sitting next to the VP of Operations, Eric Evans.
Thanks for having me, Paul.
And thanks for being here. Today we want to talk about getting employees the buy-in to do a new BPM process. A lot of times a BPM process can be anxious to people when a new thing is coming in. You know, do you see that?
Change is never easy for anyone, Paul. I've noticed over the course of the years that people are most uncomfortable when they don't know what's going on. So one of the things that I think is imperative when you're kicking off a new BPM process or any sort of change is to get the people involved. I think a lot of the unknowns when it comes to BPM is, how is this going to affect my job? If I automate a process that is, my job, does that take away or eliminate the need for my job? The interesting thing about BPM is, we are taking a process that is probably better suited to a machine and then, breaking off the people parts and letting the people do what the people do well and the machines do what the machine does well. So, the first thing that we need to do in any BPM process is to get the people involved in developing that process. And the people that know it best are the people that are in charge of the process today.
Yeah, that brings up a great point. Getting people involved to create this BPM process. What is it actually bringing in the doers and having them help design this? Or
You have to. I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on your frame of mind, AI hasn't advanced to the point where it can just guess at what people's jobs are or what the best process is. So people are necessary to define, what makes a good process and what's actually going to help them get the job done.
So let's say that we do bring the experts in and we do create this BPM process. Um, so, is it expected that when we push this out that it's perfect?
No, I mean, I think most people have realized with software development or any sort of software process these days, it's an evolution. Nothing is perfect. You get something to a point where it's effective, and then gradually over time you build on that base effectiveness and make it better and better. It's more of a continuous improvement model where you're always striving to, put a little something else into it until you get to a point where you're happy with it.
Yeah, I imagine as people use this, they get more comfortable with it. They want to add more stuff to it.
Well, not only do you get more comfortable with it, but it sparks ideas. Changing one business process often leads to, oh, gee, we just did this here. Something that'd work great over here.
No.
And it's very much of a, especially in companies that are just starting out and putting business process into place for the first time. It's kind of eye-opening in how many areas you can help your company, help your productivity, help your ROI.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing I would imagine, especially on these big processes where involves many people, there's got to be some kind of training involved.
There is. I mean, and it's a brand new system, right?
Yeah.
So if you're coming in and it's a brand new process or brand new system, there'll always be some sort of training involved. Your goal is to make things simpler overall for everybody, but that does not eliminate the need for like a learning curve on how to use the system or how to fill out a form or where you have to go to, begin the process and what you need to do to move the process along.
Yeah, that's a great point. I can imagine, as it grows too, you want to bring more people in, you get that's more ideas, and like you said, the continued development of this, there's be pretty much constant training for the people that use the system.
I mean, you're looking at a process, so eventually that process is going to evolve over time. There are just certain, there'll be different technologies that'll become involved. There'll be different steps to the process that happen. Maybe different regulations if we're talking about, anything that government has control over. Things are going to change over time, so the process has to evolve.
So let's say I do one part of this process right now. I do this event. I'm going to go over and hand this piece of paper to someone else. When we automate this, you know, is this something that I will continue to do, or do you see a lot of times when you create this BPM that you change roles?
there's still a human element to the BPM process. If you were part of the process in the beginning and there was something that you had to go offline, you were notified, you went out, you wrote something on a piece of paper and passed it on, you'll be doing that but in a more automated fashion. And the automation actually brings traceability to the process as well and ensures that, once you've taken the actions that you need to for part of your process, that it goes on to the right person or the right next step.
Oh, very good points. Very good points. So, a BPM process isn't the end of something. It is honestly a new beginning. It's for people to do what people do best. It's for the process system to do what the system does best. Is there anything else you want to finish off with?
I think that kind of hits it on the head. I mean, people really shouldn't be looking at BPM as as the end of their role or the end of their job or the end of whatever they're involved in. It's more of, how do I do my job more efficiently? How can I do more of my job? And, how can I use the available technology to help me accomplish, the tasks that I have before me every day?
Very good. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, Paul. This was great.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, everyone, for another edition of the BPM process. Please stay tuned for our next one.
Until next time.
Thank you.